President Trump revealing he thinks immigration raids have not gone far enough and is blaming liberal judges for getting in the way of his agenda. Let's bring in DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin. She joins us now. Great to have you. Let's listen to a little bit of that interview with him last night.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers. Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
Hi. Okay, so Tricia, one of the things that happened last week is President Trump announced that there would be all of these changes, or I guess ICE changes, at heads of leadership in all these different offices. Is that because the president wanted to see more deportations out of those offices?
Well, the president is all about results, as is Secretary Noem. And really, what President Trump, Secretary Noem, and our law enforcement have been able to do in the past 270 days, despite the injunctions, despite the obstruction from sanctuary city politicians and these activist judges, is really nothing short of extraordinary. 2 million illegal aliens exiting the country. That includes 1.6 million deportations and over 500,000 deportations from our ICE and CBP officers. But we're going to be really surging resources. We have 10,000 new ICE enforcement officers that are going to be hired in the coming days. So we know that we're going to continue to arrest the worst of the worst off of the streets of America's sanctuary cities and across the nation, Dana.
And so the 2 million number, it's a big number. But when it comes to changing that leadership at those ICE offices, is the hope on behalf of President Trump or the Secretary to get that number to what? From 2 million up to what by the end of next year?
I can't speak to the exact number, Dana, but we're going to put, and Secretary Noem is going to put the people in place and the policies in place to make sure that we remove these public safety threats from our communities, whether it be Los Angeles, Portland, Chicago, Boston, New York, you name it. If these sanctuary politicians won't help us to make their community safe, we will surge our federal resources to do it for them.
Okay, you brought up Portland, and there was, this is like a ping pong game. Can they go in? Can they not go in? A judge on last night said about Portland that the court finds no credible evidence that protests grew out of control or involved more than the isolated and sporadic instances of violent conduct that resulted in no serious injuries to federal personnel. So where does it stand now?
We will continue to fight this out in court, Dana. This will not be the last ruling or the last word, but I will say, why did President Trump, and the American people should know this, why President Trump called the National Guard into Portland is because our officers were facing mass assault and mass attacks. And because of the policies of these sanctuary politicians, local law enforcement is hamstrung. They can't answer to backup calls from our federal officers. So when our federal officers are being attacked, they have to stand down. President Trump knows we need to protect our law enforcement, and that's why he called in the National Guard. He's going to do whatever he can to protect our law enforcement, and whether that means bringing in more Border Patrol agents or other federal officers, we'll keep everything on the table.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're watching the video right now, and it doesn't seem sporadic or isolated. So I don't know what evidence was presented in court. We'll continue to follow the bouncing ball on this one. Tricia, thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.